back home, tend to your family, you go back. So it's not like other things where people can take your picture and see you and hear you. You go in there, and to be a prison minister or a person to go into prison, you have to be cut from a certain cloth.
Come on, bro.
Because you're dealing with people that are real killers, not people walking the street with a gun trying to be a killer. You're dealing with people that have been proved to be killers,
right?
Murderers, dope dealers. These are what they call the worst of the worst. When we work our community, we don't deal with the worst of the worst. We might deal with a bad community, but that's not the worst of the worst.
Good teacher.
So when you're dealing with them, you gotta have some of that material in you to be able to carry that conversation with them, but enough light in you to be able to guide them out of that type of darkness. And it's a grotesque darkness. It's a darkness that's filled with ignorance. And they don't know themselves, nor do they know God. So it's you have to be a certain way. And I thank Allah for those that forced the way for me in front of me that I can do this now. And that's for anybody that want to go into prison. If you go in there and you're talking to them like you in the church or the temple or the mosque, you'll lose them. They'll get up and walk out on you. So you got to be able to hold their attention and elevate them. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has elevated so many people, and he has plenty of YouTube videos of him going into Statesville, and he's elevating our people. So, I thank Allah for this opportunity that has helped me be a better human being.
So you mean to tell me, based on what you said, so aren't the lines long or filled with people who just want to get into prison ministry and not only you should?
Nobody, brother. Big
yes, people. I mean, you don't have overwhelming applications that you say I can't take no more. That's not the case.
No, sir. Nobody. It's begging people to go in and
come on,
visit you, man. The churches, the chaplains that are in the prison, they ask me all the time, any church people that are come in, any 5%ers, Morris signs, anybody that can come in. And they find out that and that just proved to me that Allah didn't want them listening to them. He want them to hear what he got to say coming from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
So we go in and we talk to everyone that come, and we fill chapels, we fill the hallways with the words coming from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So the people don't volunteer to go. It's a hard task, and right now we need help. We need volunteers, but even though the prisons are down now, we can still be training to go in.
Come on, that's right.
So your help is always needed. Even if you can't physically do it, you can physically help.
So you just said something. I'm not going to want to steer us off too far, but is this so when we're dealing with more science people? When I came up through the ranks of the 5%, the guys in the earth, but when we dealing with the more science, the guys in the earth, the Hebrew Israelites. If need be, could they contact you to be able? Okay. So and I say that to say for those who are listening in those capacities, you can contact us at Money Boy TV if you feel that that's your calling. Then our brother James can help you to deal with the population of the community that you are affiliated with.
That's right.
Right, because and as he said, I'm asking those questions not to be funny, but I already knew the answer. I know it's not no long line. I know it's not no glamour job. I know these things because I've been associated with him and with others. And Brother James, I'm gonna say this as we go further, but I don't. You didn't know this, but when I was in Denver, Muhammad's Mosque number 51, I was the prison reform minister for a short stint for about a year in a federal, in just one federal facility.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, I will say it like this. And I've worked here locally in our transitional center. But man, no, you are right. You got to be cut from a cloth to handle that type of work. That is a serious, serious mission. The dedication is incredible that you have to have. Yes, so with that being said, so now, with all that being said, so we looked at and talked about as we move swiftly, some of the is it a challenge? How about the challenges of getting into the inmates, getting materials that the inmates. Some of the inmates want and often request the Final Call newspaper. Is there? Can you speak to some of the challenges of getting materials in? Because I know you just can't say, "Oh, I got inmate such and such. Here's his state number. Blah blah blah. I got this book and I want to get it to him." You can't do that.
No, sir. So one of the biggest issues is definitely when you're dealing with places that don't want Islam in there in general. And a lot of times it's up to the chaplain. I mean, the chaplain and the warden go back and forth. But like in the state of Georgia, Islam is pretty much forbidden, especially the Nation of Islam. We can't even have classes in there. So to take books in there and send them books and stuff, a lot of times will be rejected. But at most camps, they'll let the Final Call and books come in if you send them through the chaplain. So the best way to do is get them a subscription to the Final Call newspaper. That way it'll come from a source that they'll approve. They'll approve that source coming straight out of Chicago, being delivered straight to them, and depending on the type of chaplain that you have. Though a chaplain is supposed to be biased, but if he don't like the Nation of Islam, he may not give them the paper. He may give them the paper. Yeah. He may give them the books and videos. And the ruling in all the states that we have here in the southern region, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee, is that the chaplain has to view the video first. It's supposed to be for all religious services. He's supposed to view the videos and give them to them. But a lot of times they don't give them to him if they don't like what he said, that they think it's anti-Semitic. They may not pass it out. If they think it's anti-white boy, they may not pass it out. It's just different things. The black chaplains, they just pass them out. They just give them away. Right. But the white chaplains, after they view them, it's up to them if they want to give it out. Whether, even though it's against their rules, right, they're still supposed to give it out because there's.
But they don't do it many times. But see, and that's the thing that we're going to get into when you're dealing with prison. And I hear brothers in the street all the time say this. They say things like, "Man, I know my rights," or "I got my." I'm gonna get my attorney. Man, stop with that foolishness. They'll arrest. Sometimes your behind is in prison and your rights been trampled and stepped all the hell on. That's right. So when we say that, you're not dealing with people who care about your rights.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you really forfeit your rights
going
into prison, but you have some rights according to their regulations. And it's so but you have to see. Even like in the Nation of Islam, security trumps everything.
Right.
So they can use that paper and say, "Oh, that paper caused you to be, it may cause a riot, so we can't put that out there." And you say, "Well, I got rights." And they'll be like, "Yeah, but security trump your rights."
That's right.
The prison trump your rights. And so when you go into prison, you lose everything. You lose your name, you lose everything when you go into prison. You're really property of the state.
Come on, man.
Actual property of the state.
Actual property of the state. You livestock.
That's right.
Come on, man. And that's interesting because the first time that I ever heard of something that made it click, I was a young boy about to be property of the state. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was for a minute. I served a year on a 3-year bid in the county jail back home. So I know a little bit about that. And that was the last time and don't want to do it again. I ain't never liked jail, but I say that to say this. The first time that I ever really heard the game exposed, the hustle exposed, was when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught us, anybody who heard that, it was years ago. I got to find those beautiful words. But he broke down the prison industrial complex.
That's right. Go ahead.
He broke it down to the point where he talked about how it no longer is under the Department of Justice. And that was the time when they started letting a joker can just own a prison. You can own the Dollar Tree, you can own a prison. You know what I mean? And so at that time, and then he said it's a business. And then he said that it's traded and they start trading it on the stock market.
That's right.
So what you just said is so powerful because you own by the state. Yeah. And people own livestock.
That's right.
They own slaves, but you are livestock because you traded in stocks.
Yeah, basically that's all you are when you're in prison. You just stock inside of a prison. They have to keep it at 90% field so that they
Come
can make
on.
money off of the government.
Right.
So as you going back to something you said a moment ago, like it's no longer Department of Justice. It's actually the Department of Corrections now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you look at it and you break that down, this department right here, like we got a department, that's the FOI. We
Right.
got a department of the MGT. This is a
Come on.
secretary department, right?
Right.
So anywhere you go, this department does certain things.
Right.
But for the state, they got a department where they correct you at.
Come
So
on.
that department is called the Department of Corrections.
Yes,
And
sir.
inside of this department, they correct. What behavior are they correcting, and what are they trying to make you when you go inside of that department? In that department, they try to break your entrepreneur freedom spirit.
Come on.
That once they break your spirit and make you property of the state, and mentally you start believing that you are property of the state, they call you inmate. And
Right.
if you are in, and once you accept that you are an inmate, then you believe that you should be in the Department of Correction. It's like the house that you stay in. You stay in, right? You own that house. You in that house, right? Yeah, where you live? I live in there, right? Then
Right.
you ask a brother, where you live at? I live in over there in such and such correctional facility
Right.
because they're an inmate now. So once you start getting that type of mindset, then if they free you, you don't know anything else.
Come on.
In their mind, they think they break your entrepreneur free spirit and make you back slaves of the government or slaves of the state. Because in their constitution, especially for the young men that are under 45 now and 21 and older that are in the correction now, you fall up under that martial law. There's an aspect in the martial law that deals with those that are incarcerated. That if Donald Trump right now wanted to go to war, he can pull those out of the prison 21 to 25, 21 to 45 years old and make them and put them in the military
Mm.
under martial law. And then
Wow.
also is for those that have the anchor bracelets on,
Right.
you're on parole, you on parole, probation, any of those things. If you're under 45 years old, you're still a ward of the state. That's why you have to check in once a month, once every couple of
Come
weeks, and you
on,
have
man.
to pay their fines. And so all of that is business in itself. But the most dangerous part right now is dealing with the matters of the martial law.
Mm.
Because if you and me and those of us that are listening don't sign up to join the military, if a war break out, the first people they're gonna get are those that are incarcerated.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so they can legally and absolutely, pardon me, actually, they can absolutely and will do that. You know,
Uh-huh.
you made me think, and just to say something to that, Brother James, I remember seeing when I was here in Georgia, it was some years ago, there were wildfires in, I think, Georgia. It was, I can't remember the exact, the fact that they had prisoners that were straight from the Department of Corrections fighting wildfires alongside firefighters because they had a shortage of firefighters.
That's right.
So you now this is, I mean, that's just as, yeah, that's if they'll send you to fight a fire without no training or proper training, without no, you're not a firefighter, but you
Yeah.
out there fighting real fires,
Yeah.
then they will absolutely send you
Yeah.
to war
Yeah.
because that man, your thing, I mean, yeah. So I bear witness to that.
Yeah. The government, the governor can make those decisions. It's written in the law. Once you
Yes.
give up your rights involuntary, you give up your rights. Sure, if a flood come out, tornadoes and tear up Alabama, they can use inmates in each county.
Yeah.
They go to the county jail and make them do some work. So it don't matter where you at. They can
Come
recuse
on, man.
everything that you got and bring you back. And the only way out is total freedom. We have to be freed from this enemy. So as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has explained to us, their whole system has to be done away with. You see that now. Everything of the
We seeing that.
Caucasian is being torn. Their religious system is being removed. Their spiritual houses are shut down. So now you got to learn God all by yourself. And for those that was already on the borderline of falling back in the street, when they couldn't go to church and commune no more, they fell back in the street. So the banking system is The entire system is being torn apart. Now you see all over the country, even the police system is being torn down.
Come on, come
So it
on.
don't matter who Trump is or who the next person is.
No,
No one is going to be able to fix this other than God Himself.
come on. No
This,
one.
this, this. So all of them say, "Man, I know how to fix this." No, you don't know how to fix this because we still, you, me, all
That's
of
right.
us still have a mindset of the Caucasian. We're
Come on.
trying to learn how to be men. The
No,
first
come
way to
on.
learn how to be men is become independent.
Come
Once you
on.
become independent, then you learn how to use your free will. But anything that we think of now, it comes out of the world of this Caucasian system. And in their system is to make you a slave. So
It's to make you a slave.
even if you building computers or you doing the media thing, you still got to subscribe to this. You got to subscribe to that. You got to send money and get this license. You got to do this. You got to do all these things so that you can still show that you're free. Even if I got my own business, I still got to pay them. I still got to
You
go
got to
get a
get that
license for
license.
them.
Look, I'm going through that right now.
Yeah,
Nothing but the truth.
yeah.
Nothing but the truth.
So
But I want to go.
go ahead. Pardon me. Go ahead.
I'm sorry because you said something that I want to because it was so beautiful. A system. You talked about a system. Some people say system means save yourself time, energy, and money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's save yourself time, energy, and money. So as our CEO, Mr. Tonelli said the other day, he said one thing about what's going on about this system that they have created. Oh, it don't work for us, but it darn sure is a brilliant system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brilliant system for them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a brilliant working system. But Brother James, so this system. So I want you to speak to this, and we're gonna definitely have to do a part 2, my brother. We're gonna have to do a part 2. But I want you to speak to this with regard to a system. So here's a system. So I ask the young boys this all the time, the young men in the streets. I ask them, Brother James, if there's anything that you all, as young black men, want to do or desire to do, can you and will you be successful? I ask them that all the time. If there's, keyword is anything. If there's anything that you all desire to do or want to do, can you be successful, young black man? And they always say, 100% of the time, they say yes. And 100% of the time, I say, no, you cannot. You cannot be successful at anything. And the key word is anything. Now, check this out. I want you to speak to this, Brother James, because our young people have been tricked in this system into believing that they can be successful gangsters. They've been tricked. No, they can't. There you go. And so I'm gonna let you speak on to it because, and I always tell them before, and I want you to speak on to that. I tell them you cannot be, if you want to be a rocket scientist, boo-boo, you can do that. You can be a teacher, whatever you want to be. I know that you can succeed, but if you want to be a gangster, if you got gangster dream, gangster aspiration, gangster, you ain't gonna be successful. You're just another damn bump on the log, a chump on the log. You're not gonna succeed. And I say this, and I give them the example again. The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, he put this in my mind, in our minds. He said, "Let me show you a picture of a true gangster." And then he talked about Joe Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy.
That's right.
Joe Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy. For you all don't know, John F. Kennedy, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was a president of the United States who was assassinated. His father's name was Joe Kennedy. Joe Kennedy was the bootlegger of his time. From his gangsterism, from his hustle, they created 2 senators, a president, and one of the wealthiest families in America.
That's right.
Now, that's gangster.
That's gangster.
That's successful gangster. Last example, and I'm gonna let Brother James speak to this. The mafia, well-known organized crime gang. The mafia, with the collaboration of the New York City mob and probably the Chicago mob. Back in the days, they went out to a desert called Nevada, and through there, buying off cops, paying off politicians, paying off congressmen, and others through those efforts, and through their killing people, buried people in them deserts, they created what we now call Las Vegas.
That's right.
And they family live in generational wealth.
Okay.
gangster.
That's
That's
good.
gangster. So, Brother James, as we close this first part, I want you to speak to that because we are in a system, as you talked about, a
Mm-hmm.
system that has been created that we will never, ever be successful in. But the system of trying to be a gangster, we gotta wake them up to that, man. That's the dumbest system, and I fell for it, but that's a dumb system.
That's dumb, sis. So first, that's great. I'm glad that you brought that up. So in nature say opposite attract. And
Right.
nature says that, and like repel, right?
Come
The,
on.
the Caucasian try to tell us birds of a feather flock together. They
Right.
tell us, but that's not nature. You know,
Right.
if the Caucasian is in their system, if they're gangsters, they can't let you be gangster because
Come
you can
on, man.
because you can knock them off the block. Selling dope and shooting a little dude and all that stuff, man, that ain't being gangster. That's not gangster. Gangster is something when you go over there to Kuwait and then you garner all of your friends, you go over there and take the oil. You go take the oil.
Come on, man.
You don't
That's
get a
gangster.
license for it. That's gangster. Gangster is when you go
Come
take
on,
the
man.
oil. Gangster is when you say, man, I'm gonna go over here and take this country, and you garner all your partners around you and say, look, man, they got oil over there in Iraq, and they trying to take stuff away. The oil is what they need. They oil junkies, right? So now that they hooked on the oil, them and their
Come on.
partners, they go over there and they take a country, take the dictatorship, take the Congress, take the Senate, they take the land. Literally, take
Come
the
on.
land, take the oil, right? That's gangster.
Take.
Gangster is you go in another
That's
country
gangster.
and you tell the people like, we don't like that man that's president. We need y'all to remove them and put our man in there. He'll lead y'all to something better, right? See, that's real gangster right there. Shooting,
That's
shooting,
real gangster, bro.
shooting Pookie down the street for some dope. That ain't gangster. That's
That
ignorance.
ain't gangster.
That's
That's
ignorance. That's
ignorance.
straight ignorance right there. Breaking somebody's
Right.
house that work every day to provide for their families. No, that's ignorance. Because you
Come
don't
on, man.
want to get up and go do it for yourself. You think you want to be like the white man so much that you think you can go over there and take something out of them people's house and you do it. But then the Caucasian will send somebody after you to
Come
put you
on,
in
man.
jail for trying to be like them. They're not gonna let us be like them. They're not gonna let us be successful in hijacking and robbing and killing and stealing
No,
people.
no.
That's why they put us in a department that corrects them, that let them, the people that are being corrected, you can't be like us,
Come on.
the Caucasian. That's why we made in America.
Come
So when
on.
you're
Come on.
talking about gangster, you're talking about people that go into Africa and take the land from generations of people and tribes because they found a little diamond on the ground. Right,
Come
so they,
on,
they
man.
clear away hundreds and thousands of acres of land to try to find diamonds and try to find oil and try to find gold. See, that's gangster.
That's gangster,
Shooting
man.
up Pookie down the street or coming and breaking my house, getting my TV and computer, that ain't gangster. That's
Come on,
ignorance.
man.
That's pure
Straight up ignorant.
ignorance. And you
Straight up
can't
ignorant.
you can't you can't do stuff in America that even resembles them because they won't let us be like them. Because eventually, just think now, eventually, if you allowed to be successful at robbing banks, the money that they rob from us, now you go and rob the money from them. And if somebody else start thinking that they can start robbing the money back from the money that Master took from me, then Master ain't gonna never have no bank. He ain't gonna never have no money. So Master like, look, man, and look, if they realize I done stole all this money from them. So I paid taxes on the money. I put the money in a system that they created, right? They charge me taxes again on the money that I asked them to hold and keep for me because I don't want to keep it in my house, right? So
Right.
now if you go rob the bank, you rob from them, and now they mad because they robbed us twice for the money that we earned. Correct? You
Come
got me,
on.
right? So now they thinking like we can't allow you to roam the streets
No, we
because
can't allow
they
you to
got
do
us
that.
thinking passively that it's okay for them to tax us twice for the nickels and dimes we have. Now that
Come.
right there, Mr. Regions, Mr. Wells Fargo, and all the other places, that's gangster.
That's gangster, bro. But
That's
see,
gangster.
you just built a beautiful picture That's gangster. We got it. Why we can't see that? You know, and I'm gonna tell you something else that's gangster, brother James. Gangster is everything that you said. And then the mentality, here's what's gangster. We cannot let you, we're gonna make you think that you're gonna be gangster, but we never can let you do it. And
No,
then we gonna gangster your behind from the time we put them cuffs on you to the time, shoot, depending on the circumstance, you'll be gangster for the rest of your life from what
that's
you
right.
did that they tricked you into.
That's
That's
right, man.
gangster.
That's
Even
real
the prison
gangster.
system, to me, the prison system, I read something on some time ago, and it said we should boycott. He said we the first white business that we need to boycott is prison.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
and I agree with that.
We need to boycott that one. But they didn't gangster. It's so gangster of a system, though. They didn't made us think we gangstering. We going out turning up. We going out thinking we getting stripes. Man, and these people laughing from the whole process through at us.
Yeah.
From the time they put them cuffs on to the time we standing in front of that judge, to the time we checking in our facility, to the time, man, I mean, it's all gangster. Because you get in there, you gotta, man, you know what tripped me out? And so this how out of touch, because when I was back in the days, when they was about to make me a property of the state, they used to be able to bring commissary to you put your commissary, so they'll put $100 on your books, and that was $100 you had on your books. They don't do that no more. No. They put $100. They charge you a fee to put money on the books now. Yeah. I mean, that's gangster.
Yeah.
That's gangster.
Man, when you said, I got to say this. I was going to mention something else, but I want to say this too. And before we close, I want to say something to the gangsters and the young people. So don't let me not be able to say that. So look, a few years ago, I'm going to say 5. Alabama was getting ready. They was at the point they needed to close some prison. They bankrupt, brother. They ain't got no money in Alabama. I'm just using Alabama, but it's applied for every person, every state that's on here that's listening. It's applied for your state. So they were so broke. The employees, the officers hadn't got a raise in years. That's how far in the red they was. They couldn't even give them raises, so they just let them work 12, 16-hour days, right? All of a sudden, brother, all prisons have a snack line, but they generally have a snack. They used to have.
They all have a what?
A snack line. So the $100 commissary you got, now they started a snack line. So you put your $100 and you can order twice a month from the commissary, right? About 4 or 5 years ago, when they got to the point they was finna have to shut the prison down, they started a snack line. A snack line opens up every day. It's like going to the vending machine. Now, they didn't have a snack line before, but they had a snack line now, right? So I'm not dealing with the commissary. I'm just dealing with the snack line. So let's say you, Baki, you get up and your wife, your family, they send you $10 a day, right? They say $15 a day. You take them $15, you go to the snack line, and now their language is a little different. I pray they don't offend anybody. I just say it the way they say it in there. So they got a chicken sandwich. It's literally called big ass chicken sandwich. It's a piece of bread, man, probably about that thick.
Are you serious?
A piece of chicken in there, man. The whole sandwich probably about that thick, man. It's thick, right?
Right.
They got maybe some type of lettuce and pickle on there. So that's about $5. So you get you 2 big ass chicken sandwich. You get you 2 sodas, 2 bags of chips, right? To go with that. Right. So that's $15, right? Now just imagine you, Baki, you don't eat in the chow hall. You only eat out the snack line. So if you did that twice a day, that's $30 a day, right? Now you multiply that times 12. I mean times 30 times 12, right? Now just imagine. I don't have my calculator in front of me.
I'll do it. Go ahead, brother.
Now just imagine 25. Now multiply 30 times 25,000. What you get?
30 times 25,000?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 30 times 25,000?
Yes.
750,000.
So the one prison, the state of Alabama, has 25,000 people locked up. And 25,000 people go to that snack line every day. And even if they spent $30 a day, that prison to the state of Alabama today Today, right here, the one you and me in, gonna make seven
Today.
hundred and $50,000 today. That's just
God.
off a
Oh,
snack line. That ain't talking
that's
about the
just,
commissary. That ain't talking about
oh
the
my
care
God.
packages that come once a year or twice a year now. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, they were gonna shut down. Then all of a
Right.
sudden, they said they wasn't gonna shut down. So I was asking the
Right.
brother, where do you think they got their money from? They didn't get
Right.
a loan. Then
Right.
nobody offering. The state didn't give them no money. You
Come
paying
on.
you literally are paying yourself to paying them to keep you in prison. If you wanna, that's gangster, brother. You wanna talk gangster now? So that's
Brother.
gangster
Come on, man.
when I can convince you to pay me to keep you in prison. And you do it
God
willfully.
dog it.
You willfully do it. You don't balk. You go down there and get you a chicken sandwich, a honey bun, 2 bags of chips, 2 sodas, right? You know how we do for lunchtime, right? So
Come
that's
on,
12,
man.
15 bucks. And you do this. And so your son, he call you and say, hey Pop, man, I need $100 a month, right? And you trying to figure out what they spending money on. So even if he did it
Come
on the low end, he gonna spend $15 a day times 30. You get what I'm saying? Now,
yeah.
where all that money go to keep all your children, all your nieces and your sons, your daughters, your husband Pookie, and all them, you paying the people, you paying your warden to keep you incarcerated. If we just boycotted the snack line and the commissary, the prisons are shut down all over the United States. Brother, if we boycotted them for 30 days, we ain't got to do a year or 6 months. If we stop now, take 750,000, brother, and multiply that times 30. Again, multiply
Okay,
750,000 times.
750,000. Do the 750,000 times the 30.
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Thumbs is moving. 750. You really, bro, you blowing my mind. Oh my God. Boy, I'm lucky. I know a little bit of math, man. I can read a few of these darn commas on here. 22,500,000.
Okay, now just imagine if we boycotted the snack line and the commissary for 30 days. What would that do to a prison system?
That'll put a COVID-19 on
Yeah,
it.
no, what they'll do is they'll put them in a position they got to shut down at least
That will
one
put a
prison per
COVID-19
state
on it.
because we paying them, and every person on here that has a person that's been incarcerated, ask them to ask their guards how aren't they starting to get raises now? On the condition in the prison starting to change over the last 3 or 4 years. With that kind of money coming in, brother, and just in the state of Alabama, just imagine Georgia. They got 30 some prisons in Georgia, 34 prisons in Georgia, counting the 4 or 5 federal prisons. Right now, see they got like 50 something thousand. So all you gotta do is take them $30 and multiply it times 50,000 a day times 30 days, and you'll find out how soon can we shut down the prison industrial system. It's simple. You ain't gotta march. You ain't gotta pass legislature, brother. We ain't gotta do nothing but stop eating at that goddamn snack line. If we
Come on,
stop eating at
man.
that snack line to tell that commissary, man, look, kiss my butt, I'm gonna eat in the chow hall for the next 30 days, right? I'm gonna go in the
Come on.
yard, I'm gonna exercise, I'm not gonna spend a dime, I'm not gonna do collect phone calls, I'm not gonna give this prison no money. Imagine 50,000 inmates in the state of Georgia did that for 30 days. The next month, brother, they'll be looking at shutting something down. Because that's look
You
at how
know
that's
what, brother?
go ahead.
Bro, James, you know what? You laid down. We talking about a brilliant form of action. Well, I'm just gonna say this. I gotta we're gonna have to re-explore what you just said, because that is something that never crossed my mind. I didn't know the actual facts and the numbers. And once you lay it out, it's crystal clear. If we want to do something, if we want to put corrections on a
Okay. So look, I wanna if I can, because I don't want to lose this thought. This is for those of the people that's in the street, right? I want to say something to you. 18, 19, 16 year olds, those that's in boot camp, those that want to be quote unquote gangster, right? Quote unquote thug life, right? This is the process, brother Baki. I get arrested. And they in Alabama, the place they send you in Alabama is Kilby Correctional Facility. Every state has a particular processing prison, right? You follow me?
Yeah.
I get off the bus, I go into Kilby, they bring me in through the back gate. So they take me in. It's generally old dudes that been in prison, they old officers, 20, 25 years in.
Right.
There's some dudes in there, man, probably about 6 feet. Arms are probably as big as your neck, you know. So they sitting in there and you come in and they say, look, um, look, inmate, go over there up against the wall, take your clothes off, get naked.
Okay.
You listen to me, right?
I'm listening.
They tell you go over there on the wall and get naked. Now you
Get
can buck,
naked.
but
That
you in the right room to buck. You in the right room to say you ain't gonna do it. You in the
right.
right room to say kiss my ass, buck. You in the right room to do that because you'll look on that floor. You see a lot of old blood, a lot
Oh
of
man.
scratches. Because in that room right there,
Right.
it's meant to break you. The first day, the whole
Oh
atmosphere
man.
is meant to break you, right?
Right. So this is. I mean, this is this.
Listen, I'm
This
not
is
finished.
true slavery.
This is today.
Come
Then
on,
once you get
man.
naked, they look your body over, then they tell you to bend over and bust it open.
Mhm.
So no matter how manly you is, no matter though I'm talking to you young dudes in the street. You
Right.
got all your guns, your Tech Nines, you got your shotguns, good. But in that room right there, you ain't got none of that. Not in that room right there, right? In that room right there, they gonna say, look, you big muscle bound man, you go over there and you bust it open. You bend over,
Right.
you bust it open. So
Man.
now you gotta find the you gotta like, man, just imagine you just gotta bend over and spread your butt cheeks so somebody can look in your butt cheeks to make sure that you ain't trying to smoke or something in.
God, doggy.
Just imagine that you a man. I know y'all robbed the store, y'all sold dope last night. I got you. I understand. I know you did all those things, but now you'll go into a place you ain't got them guns and your partners to back you up.
Come on.
That whole 6 hour situation is meant to break you. So that when you go out in prison and you go out in there to the camps and you see the real Pookie, not the Pookie on the street, man, that be fussing and slapping women. I'm talking about the real Pookie.
Come on.
You know, the real Pookie make you aware very fast where you at. And if you coming in here for rape, man, you find out in 72 hours what it feels like to be raped.
Mm.
They say 72 hours in the state of Alabama that a person can be raped.
So we are live on moneyboytv.com with Brother
Bro, you
James.
hear me?
Yes, you went out for a minute, and I
No,
didn't
I'm
want
sorry,
to.
my phone was ringing.
Okay.
So people that have been child molesters, a child molester in the state of Alabama now, the statistics are pretty much similar in Georgia, different places, right? A person that molests a baby, in general, within 48 hours, they find out what that baby went through.
Mm.
Now, inside the prison is justice.
No,
It's
no,
a
and I'm
community now.
see. I know that justice happens, and I'm not going. You know that. Hey, there's some justice in that.
There's some justice in some prison because even though they violated the law, they give justice back to the family. So,
So,
but
so, so they still. So that's well, listen, and I don't mean to do. You really blowing my mind, but that form of justice still go on like that.
that's so that form of justice still going on, brother.
Okay, well,
So,
okay.
and for all you family members that think little Pookie got away with molesting your baby, nah,
He's not getting away with that.
he paid that price so many times. He belonged to somebody today.
Okay.
No
Well,
matter
hey,
how no matter how big person they is, oh man, nobody can make him submit. Oh man, there's always somebody
yeah,
that can make somebody else submit.
right.
It's always, and prison is different. The life in prison, man, it's between, it's, the size of the room you in. It's four of y'all in there.
Okay. How big is the room, brother?
My phone keep ringing.
Okay.
It's like the size of the room that you in now. Just a couple of couches, right? So they'll put four beds in one toilet. So man, you could be sitting in there sleeping, somebody using the toilet in the same room that really your bedroom is like a bathroom, half bathroom, half bedroom.
Right.
Ain't no walls up in there. Now I'm really trying to paint a picture to the listeners that got, people that want to be gangsters on the street, right?
Right.
Prison is not a place for anybody. Prison is designed to break you. Remember, it's the Department of Corrections. Going into prison is designed to break your manhood. And no matter how manly you are, how many weapons you got, how many people you done knocked out, when you go in that one room to process you into prison, you find out real fast. So the best thing to do is get some knowledge of self. Get knowledge to benefit self. Get knowledge to do something for self. Find a way to be an entrepreneur and do something to yourself, because the system that you're caught up in, the drug life, the robbery, the thievery, the so-called shooting and killing people, that system has an end game. It has an end game of 6 feet deep, or it has an end game of 6 by 6. You can figure out which one you want. But as my grandma would say in my closing, you're going to have to talk to somebody someday. He either going to be a preacher or he going to be a judge. It's two people, no matter where you at on the planet, you either going to talk to these two people. The last person you hear is going to be a judge, and the man in front of you going to be going to convict you. The last person you're going to hear is a preacher, regardless of where you go. But the man that has dominance over your life is a judge. So thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh man. Well, hey, now you thanking me. I thank you. I thank you because you gave something that was so powerful, brother. That man, I don't just want y'all to have heard that. I want y'all to listen to what he said, because you got something that's gonna change, brother. I'm gonna tell you, you gonna change somebody's mind today. I promise you, somebody gonna think twice. I'm telling you, because you gave a graphic. So we're gonna have to get you on again, because we got to get this. We have to. And you have done a tremendous job, brother. But we have got to get this foolishness out these cats' mind, thinking they gonna go out and gangster something. Yeah. Y'all brothers ain't gangstering a damn thing.
Nope.
Y'all gonna be gangstered.
That's right.
If you want to be you a player, you a pimp. No, Joker, you are only hoe. I'm sorry to use that language, but that's it. You are either way it go. You in a system where you the hoe always. That's if you're gonna try that way.
Go ahead.
So with that being stated, man, I thank you, brother James. I thank you, man. So I want to ask all that listen. You need to take this link and you need to share it, because our people need to know some real talk. They need to stop with this old fluff game that they listening to and that they thinking on. As we close, Brother James, one year we went to Savior's Day, and I got a chance. I know we talked about that, but I got a chance to read the real. He was invited by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I got a chance to read to meet the real Frank Lucas. Not Denzel Washington, people. Denzel Washington wasn't at Savior's Day that year. He could have been, but that ain't who I shook hands with. I shook hands with Frank Lucas, the real Frank Lucas. And I got the chance to shake the hand of the real Freeway Ricky Ross. And y'all do your homework on who they are. But I say that to say, as we close, them men, the real Frank Lucas didn't make me think of Denzel. He didn't make me think of nothing glamorous. And when you heard him speak, he said, "Nah, this is nothing to play." He wasn't speaking high on nothing except for having another chance at life and instead of a system that really played him. Because if you really know the truth, he was gangstered before he was a gangster.
That's right.
And so was Freeway Ricky Ross and any of the others. You don't become no kingpin without the enemy's approval. And then and he's approving it for a reason and a season. So y'all stop all that foolishness. So Brother James explained it very well. And anybody who heard in truth now, You have no excuses if you heard it today. Now you can change your what you're doing right now. You don't got
That's
no
right.
excuse to
That's
fall
right.
into. You heard enough today to
That's right.
make a decision.
That's right.
But as always, there's some who gonna maybe need a little bit more. But so we're gonna have Brother James on again. But in truth, you heard enough today to make a good decision. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. So forget what you did yesterday. Today, the first day of the rest of your life. So with that, I want to end our great discussion with Brother Student Minister James out of Birmingham, Alabama. And I want to thank him for a tremendous discussion. He enlightened me with so much. And I know for a fact he enlightened you. And I want to thank the listening audience for tuning in, as I'm told that you are listening and tuning in. And we want to invite you to come to this type of discussion. We want to invite you absolutely here, Brother James, again, but we want to invite you to moneyboytv.com to come to this kind of discussion. And we say to you all, we want you to keep your head up, keep your spirit up, keep your chin up, keep your prayers up, and for God's sake, keep your immune system up today. So we thank you and we salute you. We say to you, peace. We say to our family, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
All right, family. So we are closing out, Brother James, and we're still on live for a few seconds, but we can close out in this manner. But I just want to thank you because, man, that was, Brother James, I'm telling you, you exceeded my expectations with that. I knew you was going to come with it, but I promise, man, you exceed, man, because I can remember, like I say, I was blessed to come into this at the tender age of 19. But prior